Welcome back as we got the technical booth all straightened out, bringing it live to you from California, Monday Night Live. Of course, on the East Coast, it's dark right now around 10 o'clock. Only 7:10 right here in California as two of the top 14 U's battle it out. Right now, the Buckeyes lead the Braves 8-0 in the second. In the second half, this is the beginning of the third quarter. We saw the Braves come out with a passing attack just now, a penalty on the ground, but they show some life here now, Warren. You know, without that penalty, they had a 40-yard strike, and they're just really showing that they can attack the defensive backs of the Buckeyes.
Absolutely. And like I said, right before the half or at halftime, I think the passing game is going to be key here in the second half. Neither team really opened it up, but both teams have great playmakers at every position when you're talking about the skill positions, from running backs to quarterbacks, and both quarterbacks are very, very good.
National Youth Football Game of the Week brought to you by our friends at Battle Sports, the fastest growing brand in youth sports. The Braves will attack, Buckeyes will attack the Braves right up the middle for a gain of 8 yards.
And that was a pretty good run. I mean, this young man is bouncing off of people. I mean, harder to take down than my mother-in-law's meatloaf. Bringing up a second down and very, very long.
Penalty on the previous play, which would bring a 2nd and 13.
So the Buckeyes come out ready to play. Spread him out again.
And of course, no other. Who do you expect to carry this ball and to be Superman for these guys? Noah has just been the workhorse all day for the Buckeyes. Noah Avenger has just been all over the field, from quarterback to running back, athlete. You can name it, and this kid has really just been the workhorse today.
Absolutely. He turns what was a very, very long second down to a very manageable third down in about 3. He comes back in, Mr. Everything, comes back in with the play. And like I said before, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep the ball in that young man's hand and ride him to victory.
Of course, Noah lines up in the backfield at the quarterback position. He'll call for it. He'll hand it right off up the middle.
And this is something that we didn't see in the first half, Coach. The big guys, now they're starting to get their big running backs, and maybe that was the plan, to go small with their smaller guys, with number 11, who seems to be one of the most dynamic players on the field, and then pound these guys with the lead.
We'll continue talking about some of these top teams in the country. We just touched on the 11U. We'll touch on some top teams on the 10U in a second, Warren. But right now we're looking at the Buckeyes on one of their most impressive drives. We have whistles on the play. Braves attack the line of scrimmage, and there'll be no gain.
And that was a 4th and 1. And this defense, wow, they are a very impressive bend, but don't break type of defense. After giving up all that yardage on second down, no yardage on third down, no yardage on fourth down, causing a turnover on downs.
But you know what I noticed, Warren? Every time they tried a different outlet other than Noah, it has just been stopped for a no gainer. If you want that yardage, it has gone through one person for the Buckeyes today, and that's the smallest kid on the field, and that has been Noah Fafita. Now, they've tried the other backs. They just haven't been successful. I don't know what it is about Noah. Maybe he's just reading the lanes. Quarterback back to pass for the Braves. And like you said, that passing game, and they're feeling comfortable as the quarterback is sitting in the pocket for the Braves, and they come right out on 1st and 10 and pass for an 11-yard pass. Then the coaches feel confident they can go ahead and attack the defensive backfield of this Buckeyes team.
Absolutely. And again, it's the quick passes. They just ran a quick pop pass to the tight end. He's wide open across the middle, and I think that's something that they now can hang their hats on and ride this guy down the field. When you got a quarterback like this young man right here, why not keep the ball in his hands and let him win?
4 wide receivers wide, empty backfield. Quarterback back to pass. He'll roll to the right, and it looks like he wants to turn the corner. He'll tuck the ball, and he'll get what he can take. He'll step out at the 43-yard line, and it looks like it's enough to move the chains again. The Braves are on the move.
And absolutely, and what it looks like is that passing game is now opening up lanes for this quarterback to run. They have to respect it, even though they haven't been very successful with it, but they have to respect the pass, and it's opening up lanes for this very dynamic quarterback to run through.
What a beautiful day here in Southern California. Generation X is glad to be over here with NSRs. We're bringing you the top national youth football games every week, of course, with our friends over at Battle Sports, changing the game, the fastest growing brand in youth sports. NSR Generation X, the fastest growing network in youth sports. Talking about doing this for the kids where it's no longer a conversation of who's the best on the block, but who's the best in the country is our conversation.
Absolutely, and the best way to do that, and we found this out early in the season with the Kickoff Classic in Florida. Great teams down there, some surprises, but that's what you have to do. You got to play it on the field. It's the only way to stop the talk.
Now you talk about those top teams we talked about. Talk to me about the 10 and under here on the West Coast. Who is a team you're going to expect to really be pounding for the top position at the end of the year?
Well, you know what? There are a lot of great 10U teams out here on the West Coast. I like the Pomona Steelers, which may be the class of that division, the 10U Pomona Steelers. I like those guys. Then I have to go into San Diego and look at some of those 10U teams out there. The Bonita Bucks are very good. Those two teams jump out to me on the West Coast.
Well, you had some big positions really changed in South Florida and Atlanta over this weekend. One team that's really been doing it well in the Atlanta area, of course, is the Welcome All Panthers, really just representing strong for the 10 and under. But in the Kickoff Classic, you know, the Ravens came up there, always a strong team, but they fell a little short against the Atlanta Ducks, which is a very strong team. Look for those teams to really be making a push as they all get comfortable in their offense. Look for the Ravens, look for the Atlanta Ducks, look for Welcome All to really be some teams. And also don't sleep on the Miramar Wolverines, a very strong team that you can expect as these offenses get comfortable with each other. Right now, they're currently blowing out their competition 35-0, 45-0. Impressive, but when they start getting in the thick of the season, especially in the playoff seasons, we'll see, you know, the cream separate or float to the top.
Absolutely, and all the teams that you mentioned are very, very well coached, very good teams, especially for that age group.
Quarterback back to pass, quick pass for a minimum game, and he's going to get some assistance from his offense to give him a couple more yards. Great day for football out here, Warren. Not a cloud in the sky. This is what California is all the way out. Listen, I'm going to need to get me a condo or something out here on the West Coast.
Come on out here. Yeah. Come on out here. And that last pass was thrown to Brady, number 22, dynamic young guy.
So that's a good football name, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Braves have come back out as they set their offense up on the 40-yard line, driving into Braves territory. Quarterback back to pass. Looked like they wanted to set up some type of screenplay. Ball is up. Oh, and just over the outstretched fingertips of a Braves wide receiver. But as you said, they are attacking these defensive backs of the Buckeyes. They're not afraid of them.
And that was your guy. That was thrown to number 44, Mo. Looks like it was just out of his reach. Looked like a pretty good pass. The coaches.
What is a linebacker doing running fly patterns out here, man? Come on.
Listen, the guy, I mean, I saw this guy cutting oranges at halftime. He's Mr. Everything. He is Mr. Everything.
Listen, where I come from, the linebackers are not running 9 routes at all.
But they're exploiting something down the middle. They've got something down the middle. They're attacking the middle of the field. Whatever that is, I think the Buckeyes really need to fix that on defense because it's there. Whether you're going deep or right in that middle flat, right behind the linebackers, there's that middle of the field. They've been picking on that position. And they're going for it on 4th down.
That's been the theme all day. Player in motion. Quarterback back to drop for the pass. Ball is up. Incomplete. He tried to thread it between 2 Buckeyes defenders. Threw it slightly behind the wide receiver. Turnover on downs. Buckeyes will be heading the other way, and they're gonna run out of time soon. When does it get too close for the Braves to really make a run at it? 8-0 right now. Approaching, we're in the 4th quarter right now.
We're absolutely in the 4th quarter, 8 minutes and 25 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. I think what the Braves have to do is they really have to continue with the short passing game. That's what's been working for them. They've been getting chunks of yards doing that. I wouldn't go away from it. You're down by 1 score. All you need to do is score and kick a field goal here. We'll see what happens, what they dial up here.
2 backs in the backfield, twins right. Buckeyes will elect their best player who's got it done for them all day.
And I think at this point, Coach, they really have to, at this point, grind it out, run the clock down, and be happy to get out of here with this 8-0 win. I wouldn't do anything too special. I wouldn't take any chances with the ball. I would ride number 11 down the field, chew up this clock right now. And as we know, this game has been going by fast. One of the fastest games that we've been to was at a scrimmage on Saturday that was 4 hours. Shout out to the great Pomona Steelers organization. Snoop Dogg and those guys.
Handoff. It looked like there was a little confusion. It looked like we yanked the helmet right there. And I think the Buckeyes will get 15 yards on this play. A very aggressive tackle. Looked like a helmet was snatched here. And I could be wrong. But I think the refs will get together and discuss this.
At the very least, it was a horse collar. And, of course, we know in youth football, safety is paramount. Safety is key, even if we think it is.
Okay, yeah, they'll take the personal foul.
Absolutely.
Unnecessary roughness is going to be the call.
Giving him 15 yards, and that is a backbreaker when you're already down with not much offense to show,
right? And
you're already down.
And this is a drive where the Braves need to make a stop if they're going to get back into this game with 7 minutes and 23 seconds. They're going to need to make a stop. They cannot allow the Buckeyes to get not 1 point on the board. Just to tie it up, they would have to score a touchdown and convert on the point after attempt.
Line up in a pistol. Gives it to the big back, the meatball sub.
And you'll see number 44, like he's been doing all day, get up out of the middle of that pile. You're not going to gain much yards on him. He is the anchor of that defense for the Braves, one of the top linebackers we've seen so far in the 14U division.
Absolutely, and he's making his claim for the battle player of the game, even in a losing effort here. Might have to LeBron him out. Give him the MVP, even in a losing effort.
Well, I don't know if that losing rhymes with. You might be saying we have to give him the Curry. Not LeBron him out.
Well,
we got to give him the Curry Award.
From the year before. Right.
We're going to name that the Curry Award right now. Of course, option play. They pull it out their bag of trips, and it will go nowhere. And look who's leading that charge. Again, number 44 on about every single tackle, you can say. And we're not over-exaggerating on this kid. If you sit here and you watch this game, and that's what we want to make sure we pay attention to these kids nationally. There's one thing to see these kids in combines and skills camps. There's another thing to see them put on football pads and make these plays, and that's what we're seeing here today on a national level.
Absolutely. And you guys are watching at home, and you see a low-scoring game, but what you are seeing is very good front seven play, and I think that part of it can't be overlooked. We always look for the high scores and the wheeling and dealing and throwing the ball all over the field, but not enough is said for great front seven play, and we all know he who controls the line of scrimmage controls the game at every level.
Whistle is blown on the play. First indication looks like it will be a delay of game against the Buckeyes. They'll back the ball up 5 yards. 5:42, and as you can see, this clock is really rolling. This game is going fast. 5:41 left in the fourth quarter. Buckeyes have the ball.
And I would, I'm sorry, go ahead.
The Braves need to get the ball back. They need something. They need a takeaway so they can get on the board. Big play in the backfield for a loss on downs.
And
that is what the Braves needed.
And they did. They needed something to really lift their spirits here more than anything and to keep their spirits up. But we got a player down on the field.
Player down on the field. That will stop the clock at 5:15 in the fourth quarter. At the National Youth Football Game of the Week, brought to you by NSR and Generation X, bringing you National Youth Football right into your living room.
And that was Peralta on the big play in the backfield, number 34, making things happen here.
I want to give a shout out to our excellent cameraman, AG. He's working one of these remote control cameras. Not something easy to do with our sky in the eye. And of course, Generation X always has Chinadu Ernesto somewhere on the scene in the back. We didn't fly out the drones this weekend. We're going to save that for one of those special matchups out here. But today it's all about the Braves taking on the Buckeyes for the Flow League's kickoff game, first Monday night game. We're only town. Okay. In punt formation, high punt, ball is off.
And you know what? I think that was a good defensive stance here for this Braves team, and they really needed a stop there as we approach the end of this game.
Well, you know the old saying, offense sells tickets and defense wins championships. You have to have a stout defense to win a championship. But you know what? Here's my concern. Where does a team like this, since we're talking about national rankings and national matchups, where does a team like this, which is a powerhouse in the California West Coast, stack up to a team like the Fort Lauderdale Hurricanes, which is guaranteed to at least give you a minimum touchdown a quarter with high-powered offense, with Amari Daniels or Jayden McBarrows, with V3, Nick Vadiato? How do you compare those teams? Is it just that much difference in styles of football right now?
I think it is, but again, when we look at youth football at the 14U/13U division, I have to say Fort Lauderdale is the class of they're the clear-cut number one. And I know we're going to be revealing the rankings pretty soon, but, you know, just passing the eye test, it's a very good team. They're going to be hard to stop.
Here we go. Quarterback is going to take it, and he's going to call his own number. And he's going to hit big. And the ball is snatched out of his hands by a defensive player. Right out of his hands. You've seen it right here on Generation X NSR. Man, what a play. And we talked about defense all day. If I didn't see it for myself, Warren, I wouldn't believe it.
And you got to tuck that ball away. You got a great play going, great drive going, and you let someone take the ball from you and take it back the other way. What a turn of events. What a great play, heads-up play by this Buckeye defense.
Man, that looked like something out of Lawrence Taylor's old flashback playbook, where he just quickly approached the quarterback, snatched it out of his hands, and ran the opposite way. He had the wherewithal to not only snatch the ball from the quarterback, but go right into full stride as soon as he saw the ball left his hands.
And I don't want to butcher his name. It starts with an M. Last name, it starts with a T. But this guy is great. And like he said, I got to stay in California, so it's not really far I can hide.
Well, go ahead and just give it one whiff at it.
Mate Ali to Strong. I'm going to go with that.
That's right. Matiali to Strong, doing it big, snatching the ball out of the quarterback's hand, running it in like a pro player would do. Now, of course, here, point after attempt. Buckeyes line up. Handoff is up the middle. And no success there. That is the strength of that Braves defense. You are not going to run right at them.
And we talked about that before, bend but don't break. And it looks like the defense, and that's what's happened with this Buckeyes team. It's been defense and special teams that have made the majority of the plays, and that's paid off. That's why, to all you young coaches out there, you've got to pay attention to your special teams.
Impressive defensive play, 14-0. Wow, I cannot give enough applause to that young man just being that smooth, snatching the ball right out of the quarterback hand, running it in for a 35-yard touchdown.
Excellent play, excellent awareness too. Excellent awareness to go after the ball. And see, one of the things that I noticed too that separates like college players from the guys that you know are going to go to the pros, it's heads-up plays like that. You see them doing it in the pros. You see them doing it in the college level, going after the ball, hitting them all the way down to the ground. Those are the ones you can tell. It's the little things in this game that create champions.
Ball is up. Kickoff to the Braves. He'll drop that ball. He'll try to bob and get his way, and he sees a little green. A good return to the 44-yard line, and that's where the Braves will take over. Welcome back to the game as the Braves set up their offense from the 44-yard line. Quarterback rolls out. You throw over the top. Overthrown. I don't think the quarterback and the wide receiver was on the same page just there. Looked like an up and out. Threw it over his outside shoulder.
And I think he has to, the quarterback has to settle down here. He's got a cannon for an arm, but you have to accommodate for the speed or lack thereof for your players. And this is something that the chemistry that's only gained through after practice, throwing routes with these guys, doing the little things so that you can gauge those things. What you do in practice definitely translates on the field. Just overthrown over the outstretched arms of number 7. And again, like I mentioned before, I think this quarterback just needs to settle down a little bit because he has guys open. Number 7 had a step there, and he just overthrew him.
Well, maybe they need to simplify it. If you have a quarterback who's a little jittery, you have to start off with the simple passes that'll get him comfortable. Little dump passes, little 3-yard hitches, curl routes. Those things get a quarterback, they get his confidence up. Right now, this guy is going 0 for 6 with his passes, and so he's not feeling that confidence. So if he can get a little confidence up, remember, these 14-year-olds, it's a mental game just as much as a physical game when you're building them through this process.
Good point.
Quarterback back to pass. He settles his feet, and again, another incomplete pass. He needs to develop a rhythm. And then right now they're running the routes right into the strength of the Buckeyes defense, and that's not going to get it. That's not going to get it done for them. So, you know, again, if I'm playing Saturday coach and sitting back, hey, I'm going to call a 3-yard out, a slant pattern, something simple that's going to be what they call a 3-step drop, and the ball is gone. Nothing that's going to be these long developing routes. That really takes proper technique and proper placement right now. Not saying that this player doesn't have it, but right now he's facing a lot of adversity, and his eyes have now gotten off his wide receivers, and he's watching a rush versus watching his receivers break on the ball.
Very good point. Very good point.
Quarterback is back to pass again. Of course, again, watching that rush, and he just can't hit the target because his eyes are focused on the lineman in front of him and not his receivers. That usually is a simple pass to complete Receivers wide open in the middle of the field. Quarterback has to calm down. He needs some confidence builders right now.
Absolutely, and you know this. The quarterback position is played from the ground up. I think he does need to calm down, settle down, watch what his feet are doing. When you looked at that ball, it was all arm. That's why it went everywhere. He had time, I believe, to settle down on that throw and throw the ball. But like you said, to your point, he's watching the line instead of concentrating on his fundamentals. I think he's had 3 opportunities where receivers were wide open and he missed them because of his feet. And that's something that you can correct. He's a young player. I think Coach in practice this week will correct that. If he does that, they'll be fine. So we take a break here. You're watching Monday Night Live.
When we talk about some of those top teams, we look at those 9 and unders. Now, what's going to be the hat you're hanging on these 9 and unders out here on the West Coast, where you really feel that these kids are going to really gravitate towards the national championship at the end of the year?
Well, I'll tell you what. We were at the Buckeyes game, 9U game this week. They had their opening day. They played a very good SoCal Braves team. Young Vic, who did not finish the game. First carry of the game was a touchdown. Second carry was a touchdown. Third carry got touched. Fourth carry was a touchdown. And the Buckeyes, even after giving up all of that, came back and won the game. So those are 2 teams that I'm going to look for to be there in the end. Shout out to that Buckeyes 9U team. Great team, great comeback win this weekend.
Handoff right up the middle again, and now he finally has some success.
Running the football.
Absolutely. Of course, 44 in the tackle, running the play down from the back end.
And who else, Coach? Who else did you
doing his
expect?
thing at the linebacker position. Now, look at these small receivers that the Buckeyes have came out with. I got to tell you, these are really, I thought Noah was small. We got the smallest player out here on the football field at the slot position now. We have a miniature Wells Welker. He's going to go out there and offer some blocks.
And this big kid, this is Micah Carry-On, running the ball, number 33. What a big kid. What a load. He needs to stay behind those pads, keep those legs moving, though, and really get this thing in gear. Me being a former back myself, I always am a little critical of the backs and what they can do to get better.
Noah at the quarterback position, direct snap to him again. Ball is low, and, of course, the handoff right up the middle. And and that looks like a little rough tackle there as he gets bent backwards.
Young Christopher Corriega on the carry, I'm sorry.
Good to see him pop up after a tackle like that. And the Buckeyes, they're feeling comfortable with a 14-0 lead that they're going to run what they call their 4-minute offense and just pound it. You know, they're hoping that some of these runs are going to develop from 2-yard runs to 4-yard runs to 8-yard runs as they really start wearing down the front 7 of this Braves defense.
And you can see the guys on the defense kind of crouching over, so I think that's working. But then they're playing right now off of sheer will. This defense have bent all day but hasn't broken, and it wasn't the points really given up on by the defense. It was special teams and then the Buckeyes defense making a very heads-up play, which might be the play of the game.
Laundry on the field, delay of game on the Buckeyes. As you can see, this crowd is pretty quiet out here. They're all in blue shirts. They are supporter of the Braves, which are down 14-0 right now.
And if I'm the Buckeyes, I'm not. And they're going to punt. Smart idea when your defense is playing the way that it is. Great
Excellent punt. Hang time. The ball is still up there, just hitting the ground now.
So it looked like a great punt, but bounced back and wasn't as good as we thought, giving the Braves pretty good field position to start this drive. And these guys desperately need some points here. They desperately need to do something on offense. I really believe that they need to stick with the short passing game that's been working for them. Hopefully, Coach pulled his quarterback to the side, settled him down, reminded him that the game is played from your feet up at the quarterback position. Settle your feet, throw the ball, get it in there to your receivers who've been wide open in this second half.
Shotgun position. 4 wide receivers, ball, no snap. Defensive end really put some pressure up there. Quarterback makes a couple players miss. And he's all the way down to the 43-yard line of the Buckeyes.
And again, the passing formation, the fear of the pass, opening up running lanes for this quarterback to run and make plays, giving them a much-needed first down and getting them on the other side of the 50 and in scoring position.
And an interception right in the middle.
Right in the middle of the field. And, Coach, the same thing, Coach. From the quarterback position, he's throwing the ball, backing up. He's got to set his feet so he can get a good pass
off. We
off.
had a quarterback change right in there, Warren. We took out Costello, number 3, and Boyd in number 7. And he came in right away and threw a pick. And, again, it's questionable calling when you're attacking the middle of the strength of that Buckeyes defense. Those linebackers getting their drops. They're getting right into place, and that was a pick by the linebackers. So when that team calls pass, you'll notice those linebackers are in their technique. They're getting back there and settling in those throwing lanes. That was a great defensive call by the Buckeyes right there. You got to say the Braves have got to settle down now, not only from a player standpoint, but also from a coaching standpoint. Don't abandon something that you're doing.
And I agree with that, Coach. I mean, I think the best thing for them to have done was to settle their young quarterback down. I don't know if I would have pulled him right there. And that interception brings us to the end of the game.
Absolutely, man. A hard-fought game for the Buckeyes. 3 seconds left in the game. They're going to go ahead and walk it off, knowing that the Buckeyes would have position. Congratulations for the Flow League kicking off their first inaugural Monday night game on the West Coast. Generation X was proud to be here with NSR as it all went down. The Buckeyes have put their stamp on their first game. Both teams offensively still have something to desire for. There's a lot of settling down they have to do moving forward.
Well, I mean, me as a quarterback guy, I think the first thing that I would do in practice tomorrow, I would work on my short passing game. I would work on the fundamentals. I would focus on the things that we did well, which was both defenses played exceptionally well. And those are the things that I would focus on here with this defense, keeping it positive, knowing that, hey, we've got some things to work on, but it wasn't all bad either, and you're talking about the first game of the season. So the final score here at Los Alamitos High School on our inaugural edition of Monday Night Live, the Orange County Buckeyes 14, Southern Cali Braves 0.
Can't say that we were in awe of the several touchdowns that went up tonight, but what we did appreciate some great play by a lot of defensive players, and even, of course, our Curry Award would go to number 44 on that side. But I guess if you're talking about an MVP, nothing better than you're talking about number 11 doing his thing all day for the team. Noah was a workhorse. Noah Fafita, the quarterback of the Buckeyes, not only handled his team like a general, but when they called his number, got positive yards all day. Smallest kid on the field, but he did not play with that. Small in size, big in surprise is the T-shirt he's wearing under that jersey.
Absolutely, absolutely. And while we gather this young man, let's go to a quick break as we gather these guys. And you've been watching one of the best games of the week here, Monday Night Live. 2 great teams from the Flow League, only on the National Sports Report and Generation X. Be right back.
There's not a person on my team in 16 years that has consistently beat me to the ball every play. That ain't got nothing to do with talent. That's just got everything to do with effort. There's not a person on my team in 16 years that has consistently beat me to the ball every play.
I'm Josh Stednitz, and welcome to our post-game show. It's a final, it's a wrap. It's 14-0 was the final. The OC Buckeyes take care of business, defeating the Southern California Braves. I'm here with our battle MVP, player of the game, Noah Avinger. And Noah, how do you feel about tonight's performance?
I feel I did good because I had to step up. I mean, my quarterback went down. My whole team had to step up. I guess I stepped up the most. I mean, I had to do what I had to do.
And let's talk about that for a minute. You just alluded to the fact that your starting quarterback, Noah Fida, actually sounds like he broke his collarbone early on in the first quarter. You had to step in, and you did a magnificent job of running the offense. Speak a little bit about that and being prepared, what you've done to prepare during the week.
Just working hard. You just got to step up when you got to step up. Anytime you got to step up, just step up. You got to do what you got to do.
Just step up. Do what you got to do. Great sentiment. Moving forward next week, we look forward to seeing what you guys do. Congratulations on being the MVP. Look forward for what you got going the rest of the year. Congratulations on the win, and congratulations. He is our battle MVP. Take it away.
Coach P here. I'm here with two great young men, two great young entrepreneurs. This is what the American dream is all about. I'll let these two young men introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Bryce Phillips, and I'm 13 going to Bancroft.
Clark Phillips, St. John Bosco High School freshman.
Now, talk a little bit about what you guys are doing and why you guys are so special.
I'm a student athlete at Bosco. I'm a co-founder of Running Back Sports. I also...
Cut it.
Cut it.
Cut it, cut it, cut it. Coach Preston here with the National Sports Report. Coach Josh Stetnitz. Coach, the first edition of Monday Night Live was a success. Defensive battle, not a lot of offense. What were your thoughts here as we end this game?
Definitely a defensive struggle. I think things that went a little under noticed were some major injuries to key players on both sides. As I alluded to earlier, Noah Fafita, the starting quarterback of the OC Buckeyes, looks like he's going to be out for an extended period of time with what looks to be a major collarbone injury, as well as number 1, Ryan Watson of the SoCal Braves, starting running back. Move them all around. Looks like he has a major wrist injury, undisclosed. Don't know a lot of details. He did not return as it was early in the second quarter where he got hurt. But overall, two well-coached, well-talented two football teams that really showed that they can play on the biggest stage.
Absolutely, and that's what you get with this Southern California Flow League. One of the best leagues in California. I mean, shout out to San Diego Youth Football and Cheer. Shout out to the Snoop League. All those guys, everybody making big moves. In Southern California. But this Flow League is definitely one of the top leagues here in Southern California.
And absolutely, and I think you saw that with the two teams that performed tonight. Low-scoring game, as we mentioned, but good football all around. Well tackling, well coached. The talent, the skill level, it's apparent that it's there. Shout out to the SoCal Flow Rider Youth Football League. They're going to take over California. This is a well talented league from top to bottom, and I'm excited to see what they have moving forward.
Absolutely, and again, we at the National Sports Report are going to be bringing you, of course, in conjunction with Generation Next. Shout out to my man Jonah, who came all the way out here from Miami, Florida, to be a part of our inaugural Monday Night Live event. If you would like to be a part of our Monday Night Live event, don't be a dum-dum. Hit us up at nsrfootball.com. Click on the tab, fill out the form. If you got what it takes, we're going to highlight you. All we want to do is show love and highlight youth football around the nation. This is Coach Preston, Coach Josh Stetnitz, the National Sports Report and Generation Next. We'll see you next week.